first cross-country road trip in this Jeep and the configuration that I had, I figured that I'd go over a few things that worked and didn't work, and to be honest, there's very little that I would change. And since I'm going to Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and heading there from North Carolina later this year, early next year, I'm putting some thought into it. And like I said, there's not a whole lot that I would change, but I'll go over those things with you quickly, just so they give you an idea of maybe some things to consider if you're doing the same thing, especially in a Cherokee. So the first thing is my storage compartments. At the last minute, I decided to use this back one here for clothing and personal items, and I'm really glad that I did, because when I'm sitting in the Jeep over here and getting ready in the morning or even at night to go to bed, it was super easy to get into that thing and grab my clothes, grab my personal items, or whatever it may be. And I'm glad that I didn't put a drawer system in it, because the drawer would have come out here, and you can't access that when the hatch is closed. Plus it takes up a lot of valuable space. So that I'm definitely going to do again, keep all my clothes in the back there. And I don't think I'm going to be sleeping in the Jeep when I go to Nova Scotia, because we are getting Airbnbs every night. But just in case, I'll probably keep a lot of clothes in the back there, definitely on the next road trip where we're camping. The other thing I'd change is on this front storage compartment. This worked out well, but all the stuff in here we'd never touched, and luckily I didn't have to, because that's the first aid kit, and then you got the battery booster and some more tools and safety items and whatnot, and other miscellaneous things in case things happened on the road. But I didn't need to use any of this, but what we did use was a lot of water, which I kept behind the front seat there, which is kind of a pain to get to, and then we kept it on the side here. So I'd probably add things like water next time and in here, as well as other items that we use on a regular basis, and then take this stuff and tuck it somewhere where I don't necessarily have to get at it quickly. The first aid kit I'd probably keep right behind my front seat, because that you do want to keep accessible. But this kind of didn't work out in that respect, but so I'll change that next time. This is super easy to get to from the inside of the Jeep, as well as from the passenger rear door, so I need to make better use of that in the next trip. The other thing was for my storage pad. I would definitely add another layer to this, another foam pad. It didn't work out too bad. It made it a lot softer than sleeping right on the box, but I could definitely use another pad for my bony ass. And then the other thing too, when I made this, I said it was cheap. These are Harbor Freight moving blankets, and I ended up snagging them and making holes here that I'm going to have to, I don't know, put some kind of glue around. But it served the purpose. I'll use it again. I'll probably get a couple more uses out of it, unless I really rip a hole in it and the filling starts coming out. But that I would change as well. When it comes to gas, I was debating between using this and my red 5-gallon gas can. I never had to touch this except for helping somebody else out. I've got another can there. That obviously will stay. It's super convenient. But this I brought because it's lighter than the other 5-gallon can, and I ended up putting it on the rear of the vehicle because I didn't want it on the front of the roof rack in case a stone came up and punctured it or something. But one thing that I realized as I was just unpacking it is that the spout completely broke off, and I think the reason for that was it wouldn't stay secure up here, and it was kind of hanging, and with all the vibrations on the dirt roads that we were on, it just was too much for it, and it broke off. And luckily it doesn't spill out of here, because you need to depress the lever in order to make it come out. So now it's just a storage gas can in my garage. I do recommend these things though. It's called a Sure Can. They say you can operate it with one hand, but I have not been able to figure it out, and there's a lot of reviews of people complaining about not being able to use it with one hand. But the idea is pretty good, and I have had to use it on a few occasions before it broke, and it works out great. So if I took it again, I don't know, I'd take a chance probably by doing that, but I'd definitely secure this spout better and just hope it doesn't break. So I'll have to decide about that. I did bring these 2 umbrellas along, and I thought that I'd need them for shade or for rain, and it never rained on us when we were outside ever, the whole 14 days, which was great. Just rained while we were driving, and short periods at that. I'd probably only bring one for shade or for rain instead of bringing both of them next time, but it would have been convenient to have, and it's easy just to throw up on the roof and tie down. The box worked out great. I can actually unload that full from the top of the Jeep, but I can't put it on the top of the Jeep when it's full unless I scrape the hell out of the side of the Jeep. So this I would definitely bring again. Again, I didn't have to go in this, luckily, because it's all repair parts in there. When I go to Nova Scotia, I'm definitely going to bring that. It's nice to have the repair parts available, especially when you're out in areas that would take forever to tow a vehicle to and cost a fortune. So that's something else that I would definitely do again. All the equipment that I brought, well, equipment as far as like camping gear, food, and these totes worked out really well. They fit good in the back of the Jeep here, sideways, and even with all of Darren's, the guy that came with me, stuff, we were able to pile it in there pretty nicely. So there's nothing that I really wouldn't change about that either. So overall, as you can tell, there's not a whole lot that I would do different. Just minor things here and there. So next trip will pretty much be the same. I don't know if I'll have this in the bed configuration since we're staying at Airbnbs. I might do a couple of camping trips, short ones like the Smoky Mountains or something like that in between now and the end of the year. So I've got a good idea of how it's going to work in the future, and it's pretty easy to set up, take down. I know what to bring. Most of the stuff will already be set up for the next time, and just be grabbing a few things like pillows and the sleeping bag and whatnot, and going out. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.